introducing the Aprica Euroturn STD car seat. Now what you'll find is this is 3 stages, so it will go from newborn up to 4 years, but you have 3 different stages with it. It will go in a lie down position from 0 up until 8 kilos, and that's approximately 6 months. Then from 6 months up to about 10 months to a year, it goes rearward facing, and then from that position it goes into the forward facing position up to 4 years of age. Now with the STD, what you'll find is you get this very good head support on here. You've also got padding on the top part for when they get an older child. That will come out once they get to 6 months of age. You've got your 5-point harness, padding on your shoulder straps and also on your crutch strap as well. You've also got your adjustable harness position on here, and it's just that orange button, just pulling that down and then just tightening that up like so. You have got your fully removable washable covers on here also, and that's nice and easy to take off for you. And you've also got little notches on the side here, so once you do actually open up the unit and baby's not sitting in there, the actual straps will go into here, so it's keeping that well out of the way, so it does make it easier to get the child in and out. Just going to show you how this car seat fits now. So I'm just going to pop that up into the sitting up position and just pop it back exactly how we had it in the first place, so that we know exactly what we're doing. Now what you'll find is you have got a little pocket on the back there, so if you do want to store anything, it's where I keep the clip. You'll find that this you will need to use, because what we're going to do is pull out the whole length of your inertia on here. And the whole idea is that just stops that from shooting back into its own inertia. You'll find you have one of the newer cars, if you do tug on it when you're trying to fit a car seat, it will actually lock off and you can't pull it out any further. So that alleviates all of that sort of thing. Now what you'll find is you do need to just ease your seat forward, because it is quite heavy, just laying your seatbelt across, making sure that we've got no twists or turns in the seatbelt. The other thing that we need to do is just make sure that hard part of your seatbelt must have no contact with the hard part of your seat at all. If it does, then it's a bad fit and you can't use this car seat in your own vehicle. Now what we need to do is just thread through the seatbelt, which is your lap strap, into the position that's indicated. And that's exactly the same my side. I've done my side first. And all that you're doing is just sliding that underneath, like so. Just pull a little bit of slack out of there. And what's happening is it's just going between that routing where you've got the little red arrows here. Now I've got it in position. What we're doing is just lining that up. And what I'm doing is we're just pulling on any tension that we actually have through there and making sure that's a really nice tight fit. So just locking that into position like so. And then just pulling that tight to make sure you have no slack this side or this side at all. Ideally, to make it as tight as you possibly can, if you can pop your knee into it and give some pressure just to make sure you have plenty of tightness on that seat belt. The next step that you need to do, you are supplied with a clip that's actually attached to your seat unit itself. And what you're doing is you're actually attaching that onto the seat belt, and it does have an arrow on it. You do need the arrow to be pointing downwards. And then once you've got the tension onto that, what you're doing is pushing that down as far as it will go, and what that will allow that to do is to make sure that that's completely tight on here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to now see about fitting this in the lying down position. And it's just the clip that's on the front here, so the orange clip, just pressing that down, pulling it out until you see the danger sign, and just swiveling this round. And then what you'll find is we're going to put the seat belt through the clip that I have here, not the one that's nearest the seat, this one here. Choice is yours. It's like a double-edged clip, up and then just lowering down into position like so. And then your final action is just the orange clip on the back here, squeezing together, and you will find it goes into the lying down position And your final thing that you need to do, remember how we put the clip on at the beginning? Releasing that off, and as you saw there, the inertia has gone in, so we have got an extremely tight fit on there, keeping your clip nice and safe. Right, we're going to fit it now into the rearward position, and that's from 8 kilos up to about 10 kilos. At a guess, about 6 months up to about 10 months to a year, but it does go on the weight issue, not on the age option that I've just given you. So just flipping that back down, what you'll find is you have got a recline position on here, but if you go all the way down, it will not lock off until it goes into the position that it should be set in. And you'll find there are 2 positions. It's totally upright or in the recline, preferably in the recline position. Now there's a slight adjustment that you do need to do on here. I'll come round so that you can see this slightly better. On the actual base unit itself, you have like a little wedge option. And what happens is you do need to release that off so that it is in the downward position. And what that does, it just fills in the seat part. So instead of having a slight gap there, you have got total connection there with that. And then the fitting is exactly the same as how we've done it earlier. So just laying your seat belt on. Remember how we had the clip earlier? So just pulling out your full seat belt, clip on to make it nice and secure, and then just finding where your seat belt is, laying onto the seat and into your seat belt. And then all we're doing is with the flat part, which would normally be your lap strap, is just going into position exactly the same as we did it before, through where the red routing is, and exactly as we said before again, making sure that that seat belt has no contact with the hard part of your seat at all. So if you happen to have one of those seat belts where they come out slightly, make sure it's not touching on there. And then all that we're doing is just making sure that's nice and secure, pulling off the tension for your seat belt from the other side. So I've got a really nice tight fit there, no twist and turning that seat belt underneath. And then again taking off the tension, just making sure that that's extremely tight, and then just finding your clip that's attached onto your seat, keeping that tension all the time, and then the arrow must go down. So lining that up, clipping it onto your seat belt, pulling that tension really tight, pushing the orange buckle all the way down, making sure that the orange clip is right down as far as you can go. Now your final part of fitting is just to take your seat belts all the way around the back of your seat unit, and then what you'll find is, remember where we had the 2 clips on the back, it goes through the one that's the opposite side to where we clipped it in, or nearest to your door. So it goes through at the top and at the bottom. If you do have a little bit of a problem getting it between those 2 bars, what you'll find is if you do sort of wiggle it slightly, so if you do a little bit of that side to side, it does go in quite a lot easier. So just a little tip there for you to make it tighter. And then just pulling on your inertia and remembering to take off the clip, because that's going to allow your inertia to work correctly with your car seat. We have got the leg position in the down position. Ease your seat forward. The clip comes out of the opening again and is used once more to make sure that's nice and secure. Full length of seat belt out. Lay it across the front of your seat and into the seat belt. And then all we're doing is making sure that the clip's to hand, laying your seatbelt into the opening where we have got your red routing, where it tells you where it should be going, like so. And then just making sure that we have got right part of the seat belt, just pulling that through, underneath and into the red routing that's this side. Now it's exactly the same procedure, making sure that the seat belt's nice and secure against the back of the seat unit. So we've gone through the opening, just making sure we're nice and secure that side. Exactly the same my side. And then just pull off any tension that you have on there. Remember how we discussed about it earlier, you are better to get your knee into it and get some pressure onto that to make sure it's really tight. And then all we're doing, same clip, arrow facing downwards, and it just clips onto your seat belt itself. So all we're doing is just locking that into position, clipping off, taking the tension up nice and tight, pushing that down all the way around like so. Now what we need to do is get at the back of your seat. And what we're doing is just releasing that off, turning your seat unit round, and what you'll find is it does need to be in the upright position. Mine just came loose there and I've just secured that back up again. So what we're going to do is just loop those two pieces together of the fabric, and then what you're going to do is just secure that underneath there and through the top part. And then what will happen is that will just lay nice completely flat, and then just repeating the same action in the other part of your seat as well. So again, top or bottom, it doesn't make any difference which way it goes in first. If you are having a slight problem like I am at the moment, if you just do that little wiggle thing that we talked about earlier, you find it will go through nice and easily. And then all that we need to do now is just release it into that forward position, making sure that we take up any of the tension that we have on the side here. And then just finally remembering to take off your clip, so that does allow that, and you heard it going there, your inertia to go into position. And then we're ready to go forward facing. To release it off, remember we do need to save your clip, pop it in that little pocket on the back so you know exactly where it is. Releasing off your seat belt itself, and again the clip for your unit will just stay exactly where it is. And then releasing off the front clip will allow you to spin your seat round just to see where we secured that earlier. And it's just the two clips that are on the back here, just releasing off the seat belt, 1, 2, and the red clips that are underneath, where we had that lap strap just going underneath your seat unit itself. And then releasing the whole thing off means that we can either go into another mode or into another car.